Hey guys, welcome to this video on Chiron in Leo. If you have Chiron in Leo in your natal chart in astrology, this video is for you. I'm Cassandra, the Saffron Sage, helping you use astrology to evolve. And in this video, we'll talk about what Chiron means in the mythology, what Chiron means in astrology, and what Chiron means in the sign of Leo. You can always click the timestamp below if you want to go straight to one of those sections of the video. Chiron in astrology is the wounded healer. Chiron in mythology was a centaur, half man, half horse. He was known as the best centaur. He was known for his medicinal knowledge and his ability to heal. He was taken under his wing by Apollo because his mother abandoned him when he was young for what he looked like. So really, we see the wound happen in the story. Originally, that wound of abandonment. Now, not everyone's Chiron is abandonment, but the idea that you are not good enough in this respect. In Chiron's respect, it was his appearance. But what happened, he ended up being able to heal because of that wound. If his mother hadn't left him, he never would have been trained in medicine. So Chiron can be a place in our chart where we are more likely to be able to heal other people because we know the suffering that it took. You know, we know what other people go through. We know how bad it is. And how much we heal or how we choose to heal, that is really up to us. And it can take many different forms. So then Chiron ended up getting shot with a poison arrow and he couldn't heal himself. He tried. And he ended up choosing to give up his immortality because he was immortal. So he chose to give that up for Prometheus's freedom, and he ended up being placed among the stars. And that is how the story goes. And so really the theme that we see, what Chiron means in the natal chart, is it's a place where we have a restriction, something that we feel like we're blocked to, and also where energy is poured into it. So it's not just simply an obstacle in our life, but an obstacle in our life, a wound that continues to be activated whenever that pattern comes up until we choose to be aware of it and then consciously dismantle it. So Chiron really does take some conscious work. And, you know, some of you watching this may have already come far on your Chiron wound. Some people learn this just through their life experience. The best way to use this video is to take what resonates and leave the rest, because I'll be giving kind of the most extreme cases for Chiron, and it's up to you to see, you know, where you fall on that spectrum, whether it is totally to the extreme or maybe just some of those energies. So that's important in every video because these are general, and to get more specific, we'd have to look at, you know, the house your Chiron is in, what the aspects to Chiron are, to really see the full picture of how the Chiron story shows up in your life. So let's move on to the video. When Chiron is in Leo, we see the wound of self-expression. So it really is a feeling of not being accepted or not being allowed to express who you truly are, to create what you want to create, to be you, to be your natural self, or have your sense of humor or shine your light. So potential manifestations of this challenge is sometimes being blocked from your own creative self-expression by things you maybe couldn't control. So sometimes people, if they had an athletic career, they'll have an injury. Or if they wanted to be a dancer when they were young, their parents couldn't afford lessons. Or there's some other kind of external block, something that stops you from being able to express your creativity in life. And then sometimes if this wound stays activated, this can be that parent who forces their child to be an actress because they always wanted to, or something like that. Another way this can show up is the desire to create, but they hide their creation. So it's like they end up developing this complex around attention and recognition. There's a deep desire for it, but also a belief that I can't have it, or just a feeling of total discomfort with attention at all. And so it creates this sort of very emotionally charged energy around expressing the self, especially in a creative way. so they can make paintings and not show them to anyone, or just do other things where they don't necessarily take the action to put whatever they're creating out into the world. This could also show up as self-sabotage in some way, where they are creating things but they don't do all the steps that are needed to become good at that thing they're creating. So this would be like someone who wants to make an album and they record a bunch of songs and then they don't mix and master them properly, and they just try to put it out as it is, so it's like that obstacle can be external or it can be internal, where you kind of create the block to expressing yourself because you chose to do it in a way that didn't really make sense for the industry, or in a form that just didn't make sense. This can also show up as putting other people's talents on display, or throwing yourself into nurturing the creativity of other people. Again, that example of like the parent who wants their kid to be a star or something, but it can show up in other ways. Like maybe you, instead of being a singer, you become a vocal coach, and really you've always wanted to be a singer, but you just can't handle the limelight. And so then you end up putting the gifts of those people on display, and really even being the source of those gifts in a way. Now, when there's an extreme imbalance here, the desire to get attention for their craft is way, way, way bigger than the actual creative talent. So that's like the extreme example. Now, not everyone with this placement is going to overcome it by expressing their creativity. So I do want to say that for some people with this placement, especially, depending on your life and how old you are and what you're doing, you may not be in a place where you're going to stop everything and go become a starving artist or an actor or something. So I'm not saying you have to go do that, but it's really with the Chiron wound, there's a restriction, but there's an activation of energy here. So sometimes it's about dismantling the restriction. In this case, this would be about figuring out why you're sabotaging yourself and putting out your creativity, or figuring out how you are restraining yourself, restraining your own energy, your own personal flair, your own style, your self-expression, how you talk. Maybe you don't speak up as much, or you don't make jokes as much because there's this feeling of like, I can't, like, no one thinks I'm funny. Nobody cares what I have to say. So it's about seeing, where are you blocking yourself from your self-expression? Is it simply that you are not showing your creations to the world? Is it that you are not being your own self? So part of the healing path of this Chiron in Leo is to see the ways that you are dimming your own light, see the ways that you are restricting your own ability to be seen, to express yourself, to be heard, whether that is because you don't share your sense of humor with other people, whether it's because you have some negative habits or negative mindset that keeps you from feeling your own light in the first place. There can be a few things happening here. So it's about finding where that shows up for you and being willing to shine your light and let it be okay that you are exactly who you are. That is the healing path for this Chiron, because Leo is about, it's the sun, it shines, and it's how we just radiate. And when we just radiate our inner light, our inner sense of who we are, then it just brightens other people up. That is what Leo is. That is why so many Leos are like famous or in the spotlight, because when we see them and when we are around them and they're in their highest space, every sign can be dysfunctional and all that, but when they are operating in the light side of their sign, we just want to look at them. We want to see what they're doing. We want to know them. We want to get closer to them. And so it's about being the kind of person that other people want to be around, being the kind of person and allowing the qualities within yourself that make you that way. You might already be that way, and you just have a lot of self-talk and negative beliefs about yourself that are kind of holding yourself down. And then that energy that's charged up about it, it's like one little thing will activate that same pattern. So it's about seeing where that pattern shows up for you personally, being willing to shift it, being willing to be yourself, being willing to express who you truly are, whether it is on your social media, in your family, with your sense of humor, with how you dress, how you show yourself to the world, whatever that looks like to you, how you just be who you are. And in an extreme example, you may feel like you're not being who you are, or you can't be who you are, or people won't accept you, or you've had some kind of wound to expressing yourself. Like maybe you were made fun of for what you wore as a child, and that scarred you for life. And now it still feels like that feeling. Like, what if people don't like me? What if people make fun of me for being who I am? So other ways this healing path can show up for the Chiron and Leo person is to really look at how you limit your self-expression, being okay with expressing yourself, and then really releasing that emotional charge that you have on attention. And so sometimes this can be just letting it be okay that you get attention, letting it be okay if you don't get attention, really becoming more neutral, practicing neutrality around that concept. Because doing both of those things is what's gonna help you. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to let go of attention or you can never get it. It doesn't mean you have to let go of self-expression. It's about finding balance. And wherever your Chiron is, it doesn't mean you can't have that thing. So it doesn't mean you'll never get attention and you have to let it go so you'll never get it. It's more about letting go of the emotional charge on that thing, so that your experience with it, in this case, it's being seen for who you are. So that your experience with being seen for who you are is genuine, and it's not clouded or muddled or, interfered with by your own activation of the feelings that that's not possible, or that it's a problem, or other feelings around that maybe can't even be explained. The gift of this placement is there is a powerful and unique way that you shine. There is a powerful and unique sense of self that you have to express to the world. Again, whether it is through your creative expression or your sense of humor, or just the way you make people feel just by being you. So that is what I have for Chiron and Leo. Let me know in a comment below if it makes sense. If you resonate with it, I love hearing from you guys. And you can also book a private reading with me using the link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell if you would like more videos like this on astrology, life purpose, past lives, and the North and South nodes. And I will see you all in the next video.